Good afternoon and welcome, Louisiana, to another edition of Bayou Bets. Zach Ewing along with Spencer the Guru and Jim Derry here on this Thursday afternoon. A lovely fall day where it's 85 degrees outside. But even if it doesn't feel like football weather, we've got a brilliant football weekend ahead. World Series is finishing up. LSU Alabama on Saturday. Of course, Saints Ravens to wrap it all up on Monday night. Just got a bit of breaking news. I don't know if you can consider it a lot of news that Michael Thomas is not going to play this weekend or any other weekend this year.
Or any other weekend, any other year.
Maybe not. Maybe
he might
he's
just have to
retire.
Yeah, it's bad.
But that is the bit of news we have for you, and we're going to dig into all of it here on Bayou Bets. How you boys doing?
Oh, I'm just so glad that you wore your mask. Halloween's over. You can stop wearing the mask now.
Oh, that's just mean. That's just mean.
That's who I am.
Well, I don't even know how to. Yeah, I don't even know where to go with that at this point.
Well, I mean, Michael Thomas is wearing his mask.
So Michael Thomas is a turf toe, a second dislocated toe, and I don't want to knock toe injuries because they've kept a lot of people out a lot of different times over the years.
I just want to say that I banged my toe getting out of bed this morning, but I still came on this show. I mean, no one had to put me on IR. I'm fine. I mean,
it just never ends with him. I think it's more that people are just tired of it than anything else.
That has got to be the biggest waste of $100 million in the history of sports.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like for this season, I'm just kind of glad it's over. Like I did a little write up on it about the fantasy implications, and honestly, I think it's the Saints offense is kind of, in a way, it's a positive because you don't have to worry about force feeding him. Because you already know if he would come back, he'd be like, feed me. I'm not getting targeted, blah, blah, blah. So in a way, it's just good that he's out. Hopefully Jarvis can come back. And I think with him and Olave, that's all they need.
Can't wait to see what he's saying on Twitter now.
I can. Yeah, exactly, Nick. That's news. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing, but clearly the Saints showed last Sunday they can win without him. This defense can play better. Andy Dalton's certainly capable of not losing the game, at least, if not carrying a team.
They're the same team. It doesn't matter. He's not playing anyway. I mean, he hasn't been playing. He's been gone. They've been playing without him. I mean, I agree with Spencer in the fact that it's probably a good thing because then you don't have to worry about and think about him anymore. Yeah, it's a no-brainer now. He's gone. All right. Yeah. We knew he was going anyway. I've been saying he's gone for 4 weeks. I mean, I don't understand why they didn't put him on IR 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. Go ahead, Zach.
I do believe there was a setback. I mean, I think at some point Dennis Allen and the Saints brass believed he would come back, maybe even as recently as last week.
One of two things or two of two things are true. Either the Saints medical staff is completely inept or he's an absolute bum. It's one of those two things or both of those things because there's no way neither can be true, right? I mean, either they really thought that he's going to heal up and, he just can't do it or whatever, or he just doesn't want to do it and he's making excuses. So it's one of the two or both of the two. I mean, there's no other explanation.
A couple of housekeeping things I want to get to after we're done with that breaking news. You're watching Bayou Bets on bet.nola.com. We're brought to you by Caesar Sportsbook. A special offer today, actually, a new offer for those who have not signed up. You can get an LSU championship poster. In fact, a 3-poster set for signing up for Caesar Sportsbook and placing a bet. We will be out before the LSU-Alabama game at Tiger Stadium on Saturday, or you can go to lsuposter.com and sign up for that deal. You get the 3 championship poster set by signing up and placing a bet at Caesar Sportsbook. So pretty good deal. That's a $90 value. So check that out, lsuposter.com.
Do we get those for free?
You cannot get them for, I think you get a discount as an employee. They're valuable things. I'll tell you how you can get them for free. Find somebody who hasn't signed up for Caesar Sportsbook. There you go. And have them give you the posters. Welcome to Sarah. She says she's listening from Laurel, Mississippi. Glad to have you on board. Let's hone in and talk a little LSU Bama, guys, because that's the Saints play this weekend, but not until Monday. So we have Monday's show yet to talk about that. But Alabama coming to town, already saw some Alabama paraphernalia on cars driving down I-12 today. So the Crimson Tide is invading. 13.5-point favorites. That number is down from 14.5 earlier in the week. And a couple of weeks ago, the look-ahead line in this game was 17.5. So certainly respect money coming in on the LSU side.
Free money.
Jim, you think they can hold that up?
No, they're going to get destroyed. This is not a good matchup for them. And it is what I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying. I think what Brian Kelly has done with his team is nothing short of remarkable. And the fact that they have 6 wins already is massively impressive, especially after the way they lost that first game. To think if they won that first game and they'd be 7-1 right now, I mean, it's amazing. It really is. I mean, and no one expected this team to win more than 7 games. Not a lot of people. I mean, the diehards did. But this is not a good matchup for them. I expect them to lose and lose big because they're not in the same class as Alabama. But with that, I expect them to win the final 3 games after that. So if they lose this game, no matter whether they lose by 2 or whether they lose by 30, if they lose this game and win the last 3 and go to a really good bowl game, probably a January 2nd bowl game or whatever it is, and show up well there. I mean, I think in a rebuilding year to do what Brian Kelly's done and for this program to do what they've done is quite an accomplishment.
Now, Spencer, one thing LSU has done not so well is get out to good starts. They fell behind against Ole Miss and then stormed back to beat them. And Uncle Big Nick to back up Jim's point. People never expect it. They expect them to be bad, and now it's a disappointment if they don't beat Alabama. Like, you got to be realistic about this.
That is the truth.
Of course, you realize sports fans are not the most realistic people.
Yeah, no,
not around here.
But I think, Spencer, they got to get out to a good start in this game if they have any chance.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you can't have Bryce Young light you up and be down 21-0 after the first quarter or something. Yeah, you got to start off strong, which I think they'll be able to with Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't think this moment will be too big for him per se, but if anything, I like the over in this. I think him and Bryce are going to duke it out. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's not going to be one of those like traditional defensive games or with Alabama-LSU, but I don't know. I'm kind of more with Jim. No, I don't think LSU is going to be able to pull it off, but I don't think they get blown out though.
Yeah, I think Spencer, in your picks, you did take LSU with the points, with the 13.5.
I did.
I'm with Jim. I just think the spread's about right. Ultimately, I see it as a 2-touchdown game. Could be a touchdown late, one way or the other. I'm not going to touch the spread. I do happen to like the under. It seems like these teams are always playing kind of close to the vest games. The total's 58. Could see this definitely being one of those conservative game plans. Keep it close, grind it out, especially from LSU's side. If you can get into the fourth quarter, under the lights in Death Valley, crowd going crazy, Colin Baton Rouge playing, everybody geeked up, got 17 beers in them or whatever. Like, you have a chance if you can get to that point.
Louisiana. That's my best I can do. Sorry.
I don't know what that was.
Have you never been in Tiger Stadium?
What's that?
Have you never been in Tiger Stadium?
I have been in Tiger
Stadium. They play like 8,000 times a game. Louisiana.
It's so loud.
Isn't it? I'm from Louisiana.
I don't know. You tell me. I am not hip.
I'm pretty sure.
We did have a question in there.
Why is Zoe laughing in the background? That's what I want to know.
The other game on Saturday is I don't know what that was, Jim, but don't ever do it again. The other South Louisiana team in the top 25 is the Tulane Green Wave. We had a comment about this one. Tulane's a 7.5-point favorite at Tulsa.
A trap.
And WTF says, can we agree the line's fishy because Tulane plays terribly on the road in 11 a.m. games? I don't know if it's fishy.
I wouldn't know. Is there a long history of Tulane playing?
Tulane has
terrible in 11 a.m. games.
They have a long history of playing terrible in every game. That's why this is so remarkable.
This is the best. This might be the best comment all year. Put that back up there. This might be the best comment of all year. I mean,
you should have just stopped after the word losing big. It would have been, nothing against Tulane.
I'm sorry.
It's been a magical season, but come on.
They are the 19th ranked team in the country. I don't mean to poke fun.
I do think there's something to that, though. Tulsa plays pretty good defense. They're not a great team, but they're the kind of team that if you're not sharp, they'll snare you into one of these games that's 17-14 with 2 minutes left, and you got to come up with a play to win it. I could definitely see that.
I like the under in this one for sure. Yeah, I'm probably not touching the spread. It does seem a little fishy, but I do like the under because Tulane's a defensive team and Tulsa can too at times. So they, I see that definitely going under. I forgot what the over under was, but it seemed like that.
57.
57.
Yeah,
smash the under. Smash the under.
Where I want to know why you don't make Carville pick Tulane game.
We should actually, but he doesn't like picking against the hometown teams. So
he doesn't care. About
Saints can win 17 games coming of the year, not even close. 17 wins or 17 beers. Louisiana fans can get to the beers easier. I don't like how short I look. My camera's messed up.
Can you raise your chair or something?
Sit up straight. I am short, but not that short. All right, the football weekend begins tonight, and it just so happens. I don't know. The chances of this are minuscule. But Philadelphia and Houston are playing the Thursday night football game in Houston, while Philadelphia and Houston play World Series Game 5 in Philadelphia. This has to be the first time that's ever happened.
I've heard that. I'm obviously this isn't Thursday nights, but I've heard that they have played each other. The same cities have played each other on the same day in the World Series and in the NFL 7 times. This is the 7th time. Now, I'm sure a lot of those are Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder,
might
like
be the first weekday.
Yeah,
that it happened.
I mean, but if no one watches the Texans-Eagles game, no one's there, and no one's paying attention to it, does that mean it really happened?
Oh, it's going to happen, and I think the Texans are going to know that it happened. Eagles are 13.5-point favorites. Jim, you like the dog here.
I do.
And
one of my best bets.
This is an enormous spread for a NFL game for sure. But if the Texans could not stop the Titans offense.
We're going back and looking at one. I love when we go back and say it's the same as are we going to say that Cincinnati can't beat Carolina because they looked so bad against Cleveland last week? I mean, I hate when we say, look, last week they couldn't do. Who cares what they did last week? We talk about trends and series and throughout a whole season. I think the Eagles are due for a letdown. The Eagles have not been back-to-back double-digit favorites since 2009. That is a long time. And the fact that you think they're going to cover 2 in a row, I don't see it. I don't see that they're going to cover. I think they're going to be a little flat on this short week. They had their bye 2 weeks ago. They're going to have another long respite after this one because they don't play again until a week from Monday. So this is a weird spot for the Eagles going on the road before they get back into the height of their schedule. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game.
Under as well.
And so I think that it could be 19-13, 20-16, something along those lines. I don't think Davis Mills, even though he's missing 2 pieces of his receiving core, Brandon Cooks is kind of getting like Mike Thomas. Does anybody know when he's gone?
I was just about to say, do you think Brandon Cooks for Mike Thomas? Who says no?
Me. I mean, we already had that bum once. He can just stay there. I mean, we don't. It doesn't matter. You can go ahead and do it. It doesn't make a difference. Neither one of them's going to play. He's at least Brandon Cooks just isn't playing because he's dissatisfied. Although Mike Thomas that's probably why he's really not playing too.
Did you guys notice I grew up? I drink my milk.
Thanks for joining the land of the living. Keep eating your spinach, and you'll be big.
The Lilliputians are gone. All right, Uncle Big Nick wants to know, Spence, who can he play in DFS for Houston?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Pierce, you're gonna have Houston to pay up. As far as bargain bins, though, they do a Chris Moore could be a nice bargain bin receiver. And if you really want upside, this guy is just a total dart throw. But Philip Dorsett could be a good dart throw. I'd say if you want maybe a little more stable floor, go with Moore because he'll probably lead them in targets. But Dorsett's the guy that with Cooks out, he could hit. If Mills can hit him on a big play, then he could deliver. They're basically free.
Can Lovie Smith get on the field? Maybe he'll play.
Chris Moore, by the way, if whether you're playing DFS or player props, his yardage total 31.5.
Oh, I like it.
So if you could go over on that for minus 120, not a bad play if you're looking for some action. Or you could do what the rest of us will do and just watch the World Series game.
I was going to say
the Philadelphia battle that matters.
The only reason why I'm going to watch the Texans Eagles game is because it's one of my best bets, and I'll probably have money. Well, who would kid?
Tell you what, man, The Texans could certainly help me out in Survivor. I'm sure a lot of people will be on the Eagles. World Series line right now for the series, the Astros with the no-hitter last night.
Missed the bargain.
Bounce back to minus 200. Jim called it in Best Bets. Game 5 tonight is Verlander against Noah Syndergaard, and the Astros are minus 160. Must win for Philly tonight, yes or no?
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, they're not going to win, though. They're not going to win tonight, and they're not going to win in Game 6 either. This series
Astros in 6. That's what I said before the series, and I'm thinking that'll continue. I mean, Philly, I never was on Philly. I've been consistent about that since before the series. To me, the Astros, their pitching depth is by far superior.
I hate it. I mean, I hate that I have to say that because
I do too.
I mean, I can't. The Astros are in my top 3 disliked teams, maybe in the top 2. But it is what it is. They're the best team in baseball.
Well, you got to tip your cap at some point. The pitching staff's incredible. I actually think it's going to take 7. I think Houston wins tonight. I think Philly stands up and beats Verlander again in Game 6 with Zach Wheeler. But Framber Valdez will be waiting for him with that bullpen in Game 7.
If anyone can screw it up, it's Dusty Baker.
That is true. He has already made a couple
bitter
mistakes
about Dusty's.
Listen,
I'm super bitter.
I'll stand with Jim on this one.
Dusty he ruined Mark Pryor's and Kerry Wood's arms.
The Astros would be looking to clinch tonight if Dusty hadn't left Verlander in the game for way too long in Game 1. I mean, look, and then I think in Game 3 you could argue by keeping McCullers in there instead of going to Javier and back to Verlander, he made another mistake that might have cost him a game.
Oh, then he wouldn't have got a no-hitter then.
Well, maybe he's playing chess while we're playing checkers. I don't know. But the World Series,
he's just got a stacked deck. And
I think this team is Dusty proof. I do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no bad pitchers to turn to. I know there's a lot of Astros fans around here, so enjoy it because I think this weekend's a championship weekend for you and for Mattress Mac and his $75 million.
I hate it when I agree with you.
Mattress, oh my God, that's gonna go viral.
But speaking of viral, did you see the Mattress Mac going off video?
Mattress Mac went all Philly fan on Philly fans, man.
He had some filth words to say to Philly fans.
Oh, yes, he did.
Things that not can't say on this show.
Wow,
he got that H-Town dog in him.
Yeah,
so he's got the. Everyone talks about him being this great guy, and he's got some feist to him. He
didn't look real great there. I mean, he was saying all them PH words that I still don't understand.
That makes an F sound. That. Got it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so your weekend starts tonight. The 2 Philly versus Houston battles. Then, of course, LSU, Alabama Saturday. And we finish it up Monday night, Saints, Ravens. We have a whole show to come on Monday. Jim and I will be in the Dome. Money coming in on the Saints, despite the injury news. Now, the Ravens have quite a few injuries themselves. I think that's part of that, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Mark Andrews is going to play, which is really big for them because they're not the same team without him in there. Lamar Jackson's not the same quarterback without Mark Andrews. Gus Edwards looks like he's going to play. They have some other injuries on defense. I'm not sure of the status of Patrick Queen. He was injured last week too. So
they got Roquan now. That'll offset that.
Yeah, I mean, but how effective is he going to be in his first game there? We'll see. I'm not going to get too much into my predictions because, again, not only are we going to have Datitude in the morning and Datitude on Monday and Bayou Bets on Monday, so I have plenty of time to give my predictions, and I may change my mind. But let's just say this. So here's a stat for you. The Saints against dual threat, a.k.a. running quarterbacks, are 1-4 the last year and a half. They don't match up well with them. And the only one they won was against Marcus Mariota, and they needed a miracle to win that one. So it's not a good matchup for the Saints.
Ravens injury report today did not practice Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Calais Campbell, Gus Edwards, and then a couple of others who were just resting. Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters both limited. And our friend Adam Chernoff made this point on his podcast this morning. The Eagles, after this game, have one game for 3 weeks. And because they have a bye week coming up, they have the Monday night game. It's just kind of an odd schedule spot.
Yeah, they already had their bye week.
So
Wait, what? Wait,
the Eagles had their bye week in week 7.
I'm sorry, the Ravens. Did I say Eagles?
Wrong. Yeah, word. Ravens. Yeah,
the Ravens. So he made this point. He made this point that if there's a spot where the Ravens want to rest a couple of these guys and say, hey, let's get you healthy for the stretch run, this could be it. So maybe that's why a Mark Andrews or a Rashad Bateman or a Calais Campbell
Bateman's done. He had season-ending surgery today, right? With Thomas, like it was announced around the same time.
So I missed that, but
picture.
Here's my question to you, Zach. And along those lines, what does it say on Harbaugh's analytics card that he should do? Well, I mean, is it like 58% they win without Mark Andrews and 52% they win with Mark Andrews?
But then if the chance of beating divisional opponents in a month is better if you let him rest.
Why is it better? Win is a win.
A division win is worth more.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
Because it's a loss for a team you're chasing.
It's only worth more if you're tied. Otherwise, it's the same thing.
That's why it's worth more. That's why.
Yeah, I got to side with Zach on this. And division games are more
because
valuable.
you could end up tied. It's a very tight division. All right. I do want to pick a scab real quick before we move on. Those of you who stayed up last night to watch the Pelicans, you were not rewarded.
Make the damn free throw.
I did. Yeah, I did. That was heartbreaking.
Make the damn free throw.
That was heartbreaking. Yeah, come on, Dyson.
I had Pelicans money line as well. So that was not fun. Dyson Daniels misses 2 free throws with 1.6 seconds, 1.4 seconds.
Just awful.
And then the Lakers hit the game tying 3 and go on to win in overtime. CJ McCollum had a 3 to tie it in overtime, and he missed.
Dude named Matt Ryan. It's karma. Dude named Matt Ryan hit the 3-pointer.
That's the true Matty Ice right there.
That was karma.
It was a pretty ridiculous pass to get him the ball, too.
But here's
cross
my question.
Court into the corner.
Why don't you have put defense? You got 5 Pelicans along the 3-point line, right? I mean, and if anybody outside the 3-point line touches the basketball, you whack the beep out of them. I don't understand that.
I think it's just a defensive lapse. Simple as that. Pels are back home tomorrow night to face the Warriors. It's only their 3rd home game. 28-foot 3-inch shot by Matt Ryan.
Kind of like my putts.
Yeah, that's quite crazy. I didn't even realize his name was Matt Ryan until after. Man, who's this white dude that just made this?
Well, he was the guy who was like driving for Uber Eats or something a year ago, or something.
And he shoots better than LeBron now.
Seriously,
yeah, LeBron was horrible. Like awful. LeBron missed everything.
The only thing he can do is drive to the basket now. He can't do anything else.
He looked dunzo.
And then
Russ was just on the bench like a big cheerleader. He was.
This will go down as one of the Pelicans' worst losses of the season. I mean, given the way it happened and who it happened to, it's not good.
Here's the one what's going to hurt. You know, if you got the over on the Pelicans and it comes down to like the last week, all you're going to be thinking about if you watch that game was that game and thinking about how the Pelicans had so many different chances to win it, down by 16 in the first half, down by 12 at halftime, come back on the charge, you know, and Jose was incredible, hit like 3 threes or something like that in a row.
He did the Grand Theft Alvarado. He got LeBron on it,
awesome.
Where he hides in the backcourt. Fantastic.
But the best moment of the game, though, was when LeBron said no mas in covering Zion. I want no more. He said, I don't know what the rookies, the Lakers rookie's name. I can't remember what his name is. But LeBron had been on Zion about 5 possessions in a row. And so they switched up and they had like a little mini timeout break. And the guy goes, "You're going to cover LeBron?" He goes, No. You can have Zion now.
You're going to cover
It's all yours. Yeah. I can't cover that dude anymore. He's old.
All right. You're watching Bayou Bets on bet.nola.com, brought to you by Caesar Sportsbook. A reminder before the big LSU-Alabama game this weekend, if you'd like a 3-poster set of LSU's championships here, or their 2019 championship, come see us at the LSU game. We'll be walking around. We also have a booth near the Mike the Tiger habitat on Saturday. Or if you're not going to the game, just go to lsuposter.com. Sign up, make a minimum of I believe it's a minimum $10 bet on Caesar Sportsbook, and you get that free poster, a $90 value. Each one of those would cost you $30 each. So pretty good deal. If you haven't done it, you can come sell posters if you want to. If you haven't already done it, then if you have already done it, get a friend or a husband or a wife or whoever to sign up, and we'll get going. So we'll circle back to football. By the way, LSU-Alabama is only the second biggest SEC game on Saturday, because at 2:30, Georgia is playing host to Tennessee in a game that could actually be billed, guys, as number 1 against number 1. Tennessee's number 1 in the first college football playoff rankings. Georgia's number 1 in the AP poll. and they go head-to-head in Athens. Georgia, an 8-point favorite here. What do you make of that?
Give me the Vols, baby. Go Vols. I'm thinking they get this done. No, it's a bold
all right,
take
Mabel,
being
the
against
guru.
Georgia.
Wait a minute. Who calls them the Vols? What? The
That's how the
Vols?
Cajuns
Tennessee
say it.
Vols.
That's how they say it in
Vols.
Lafayette.
Vols,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, whatever. All right, let me get my take in. Well, ribbon me. I'm a believer in Hendon Hooker, and I also don't think the Georgia defense is quite as good as it normally is. I mean, last year it was on another level. Or this year, I mean, they've given up some chunks. I mean, hell, they almost lost to your Mizzou Tigers, Zach, and they don't have any quality wins this year. Who is Georgia beating? I mean, Tennessee drummed LSU and beat Bama. Georgia
beat Oregon. Georgia beat Oregon.
Like a
they
drum.
Beat them like a drum,
I mean, I know they beat them like a drum, but that was game 1, and that Oregon team is a lot better now. I don't think that would be the same if they played today. But that's just my take. I'm going Vols money line. That's
come on, Mabel the guru.
I'll take call me Mabel all you want.
Okay. I know it's public money, and I know I normally don't like it, Jim, but I am sick of losing money to Tennessee. I'm taking Tennessee with the points.
You're sick of losing money to Tennessee, or you're sick of losing
Kentucky.
money?
It's the Kentucky.
Now I did.
What about to Rutgers?
You guys made Rutgers won for me, baby.
Yeah, Rutgers won.
That was one of my biggest wins of the year.
Hey, you actually won.
Also, by the way, I have a Tennessee 50-1 SEC title ticket sitting in my pocket. So,
no, you're biased then.
I may be a little bit biased, but this line was a lot better earlier in the week. You could have got it above 10. But listen, Georgia's pretty good too.
Give me the dogs. I'm going to be the outlier because A, that's what I do. And B, because I mean, it's one thing to fade the public, but it's like you're fading the avalanche of people on Canal Street on Mardi Gras Day. I mean, that's who's betting on Tennessee this week. Everybody. So, I mean, everybody can't be right. It just can't happen. I like Uncle Big Nick's take, though. This morning, he was all over Tennessee, and we started talking about it. He said, I don't know where he found this, but 90% so far on Tennessee. So he's going to take the under, which I think is a better choice. If you don't want to take either side, take the under. I think the Georgia defense is going to have an answer. Kirby Smart is going to find a way to stop Hendon Hooker. And I certainly think Georgia wins. Covering 8, I know is tough. That's a weird number, and I think it's a weird number for a reason. They want you to bet on Tennessee. Not falling for it. Not doing it.
And they are getting a lot of people to bet on Tennessee.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's not going to go any. I don't think it's going to go any. If it goes anything else, it might go to 7.5, but it's not going past that. So, I mean, if you like Georgia, you might as well bet it now. If anything else, it might go back up. If some sharps who got it early and got it at 12, they might try to 11. They might try to play the middle. So,
you know what? You know what else I like on here, guys? And you may laugh at this. I like Texas A&M.
Why would I laugh? Florida's awful.
Florida's not good, and I know A&M's been a mess, but they still have way more talent than Florida does. A&M really, on balance, outplayed Ole Miss last week. Just couldn't quite get over the hump.
Florida's awful.
They had the weird game at South Carolina. They're both 1-4 in the SEC.
Hush, you Billy Napier fan.
That has nothing to do with Billy Napier.
You love Billy Napier.
Stinks. I mean, I'm not saying Florida's anything great, but I'm definitely taking them over A&M. A&M is a dump. Jimbo Fisher. I mean, what a disaster.
I think A&M may rebound a little bit here this year.
I agree with
the end of this year. In fact, I think A&M might win 3 in a row going into the LSU game and make that a pretty difficult game for LSU. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's on the line for
Fisher
LSU.
Against Brian Kelly. I'm going to take Brian Kelly.
That's probably where I would go, but we'll see what happens leading up to that. In the NFL, Vikings at Commanders, a sneaky big game in the NFC playoff race. Same thing, really. Rams at Bucks. I mean, whoever loses that game is going to be in dire straits.
Bye-bye, Rams.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. You know, I've been wrong about the Bucks the past couple of weeks, but I'm just going to stick with them because I feel like they've got to rebound at some point. And I think this is the week. I know Sean McVay's the better coach, but I feel like he just doesn't have the personnel this year. This year's Rams are not nearly the same as last year's. I mean, Andrew Whitworth retired, so their line, a lot of times it all starts up front, so their line's not nearly as good. And the big thing, I mean, Cooper Kupp's banged up. Even if Cooper Kupp goes, is he going to be 100% coming off that ankle injury? So I'm fading the Rams for sure. And they can't run the ball to save their life. So if Cooper Kupp's not 100%, I don't see how they're going to score more than 7 points.
I don't think this is a rebound game for Tampa Bay. I just think that somebody's got to win. And I think it might end up looking like that. I think that maybe people will think that Tampa, because that'll be next week. Whoever wins this game, they're going to spend all week talking about, is this team back? No, they're not back. They just played another crappy team and they won. So, I mean, who cares? But I do think that Tampa Bay wins this game. Actually, I think they win by well more than 3.
Scott says the Vols are going to win 48-46.
That's not going to happen.
Let's go.
I mean, the Vols might win, but it's not going to be 48-46.
That would be the most public result of all time. It would also be a hell of a lot of fun.
Why would it be fun? Why are high score think of all the greatest games in history, especially
Tennessee Alabama from a few weeks ago was a
greatest game in history. Why? Because they scored 100 points. I mean, why can't a 21-20 game be the greatest game?
Did you prefer LSU 9 Alabama 6 from 2011?
Actually, that was a pretty good game.
It was
except
a good game,
LSU
but it
was on the wrong end of it, and Jordan Jefferson, I'm sorry, stunk up the joint.
No. That was the one LSU won, and they lost in the finals.
In the championship game.
Yeah.
That stunk.
So, Jim, you keep making money on the Titans, and the Sharks just seem to disrespect them more and more and more. They 12.5.
I know. They just keep, here's
Henry
the thing.
Didn't practice today.
The Titans I don't care. Mike Vrabel is going to win this game. Maybe not win the game, but he's going to at least keep it close. The Titans have been underdogs against the Chiefs 6 straight times. Not only have they covered the last 4, but they've won the last 4 outright as underdogs. I don't know what it is. Mike Vrabel knows how to beat Andy Reid, I guess. But, 12.5 is too many. I don't think the Titans are going to win the game. I mean, I don't think the Titans are this world-beating team. They'll do what they do in the playoffs like they did last year. Choke. But that being said, I don't understand how you can give a team like this 12.5 points. I mean, Derrick Henry's going to play, and Ryan Tannehill's going to play too, and the line will go down to probably 10.5 by Sunday.
I got Kansas City at 10.5, and then it moved up. I do think Kansas City wins the game.
Willis.
But we'll see. I mean, Tannehill will probably play, but if it's a high ankle sprain, he's not going to be nearly as effective as he usually is. So I'm not playing it at 12.5.
He doesn't run.
We'll see. I mean, he may have to move in the pocket, though.
Well, yeah, he normally moves around a little bit. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to play this. But I think if I had to play it, I'd probably lean Kansas City.
All right, speaking of what we are going to play, it is time to play Big Bucks. You guys will notice.
Show yours first.
I've done so badly. I had to dock myself an extra penny here, and you'll see why in a second. Because I just couldn't do that to myself.
I was wondering, how the hell was it 99 cents?
I had to
I'm a little slow.
I mean, I'll give myself the penny back if I start winning at some point.
Oh, no. You take the penny away. If you give a kid a penny, you're going to go jack it back from him?
Take a penny, leave a penny, man. Take a penny, leave a penny. Jim, I'll bet you like my teaser, though, is my best bet.
Well, I mean, how can I not? Because you've got one of my legs in there. But the Saints scare me because I got to say, this one is as tough to predict as any. If the Saints won by 14, I wouldn't be shocked. If they lost by 14, I wouldn't be shocked, which is why I wouldn't put them in a teaser league this week. However, I will say this. I'm so glad you decided to go through numbers this week instead of just throwing these teams and getting 6 extra points just for the fun of it. How did that work out for you?
Well, not very well because the Bears decided to turn it over about 4 times, but that's
I don't dislike
that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Anyway, elsewhere, I like the Bengals to bounce back. There's 3 double-digit spreads in the NFL this week. We talked about the Titans. I actually think the Chiefs win that game easily. I'm not touching tonight's game because the Texans are a mess. But this one, I mean, you talk about your all-time golden rules. Not only is this a home underdog in a division game, but they're getting 12.5 points.
Here's
that line?
You want to know something interesting that I didn't know until this morning? Not only are they getting 12.5 points, the look-ahead line on the Jets at Bills game, the Bills are a 12-point favorite. So someone explain this 12.5 to me. It makes 0 sense. I get these feelings about twice a year, and sometimes they come true, sometimes they don't. I have this weird feeling that this could be the upset of the year. I don't know why.
Knock some survivor points off.
I'm not kidding. I think
my total.
this could be a weird game.
Man, come on. I'll save my take for my big bucks.
All right. Nick says my total may lose because Illinois may score 41, and that's true. But I will say this: Michigan State had more players suspended this week than points they're going to score in this game. Yeah. So it's going to be bad weather. It's supposed to be rainy and windy in Illinois. And actually, for that same reason, my underdog pick was almost Northwestern plus 38 against Ohio State. Because the game's going to be playing like 25-mile-an-hour winds. Ohio State just wants to get out of there with a win. 38 points.
People need to stop betting against Ohio State.
But yeah, look, Ohio State could score 60 if they wanted to. So I ultimately stayed away from it and went with Michigan State, Illinois. And then my wild card, something's wrong with Syracuse. They pulled their quarterback.
Clemson?
Well, no, they lost to Notre Dame last week, but they pulled their quarterback at halftime. And then after the game, the coach said, "Oh, he wasn't that hurt, but we didn't think he could handle being in there physically." And then they have Jack Del Rio's kid as the backup, and like there's just this weird vibe I'm getting out of Syracuse. I think they're about to go into a tailspin.
Zach, it's not easy being orange. It's just not. It's not easy being green. Do I have to explain everything to you today?
It's not easy having that balance in big bucks. It's what it's not easy. All right, Jim, save us.
Well, I'm going to try. All right, so we have a similar teaser. The only thing, I love your Bengals pick. I think the Bengals roll this week. So I wanted to take them in a teaser to get them down to basically to even and pair them with the team. I've been disrespecting the Seahawks too long. I'm done. Gino, you're a great quarterback. I'm wrong. Pete Carroll, what a wonderful coach. I mean, I give up. They're playing the Cardinals. They beat them by 10 just a few weeks ago. I'm not saying they're going to win against that in Arizona, but I certainly think they're a better team than Arizona, and I think they keep it close. My chalk pick, I went with that 3.5. I always get burned by 3.5, but I can't not take the Packers here. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the extra couple bucks it takes to get that hook off of there and take the Packers -3. But I think the Packers roll in this one. I think Aaron Rodgers throws 3 or 4 touchdown passes. My one-and-done league, not that I'm supposed to give spoiler alerts against people that I'm playing, but I'm taking Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback this week in my one-and-done league. The dog, we talked about the Texans already. Total Bills-Jets. I wanted to take the Jets so bad, Zach, but I got a little scared. But so the only way that the Jets are going to have a chance in this one is to play decent defense. And so, therefore, to keep it under 47, this way, if the Jets don't hit, the Jets could stink, and the Bills could win 38-0, and I still hit my pick here. So, going with the Bills-Jets under, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game at all. And then the wild card, Vikings-Chargers money line. Interestingly enough, I picked the Commanders against the spread, but I think the Vikings win the game. The Chargers are going to roll all over Atlanta this week on the road. They are a little ticked off. They're ready to get right, and Atlanta is emotionally spent after that weird week last week.
So how are you confident enough to put the Vikings money line in a parlay if you think the Commanders will keep it within 3.5?
It's that damn hook. I hate there's no hook I hate 3.5 more than I hate 7.5. I will not play 3.5. I'll buy the extra. I just don't think that I think it's going to be something weird. The Vikings have been kind of lucky against the spread as far as they've been getting weird covers as of late. Last week is a perfect example of that. There's no question they should have won the game against Arizona. However, they should not have covered. It should have been a 2 or 3 point game instead of an 8-point game. They've been playing a lot of those. The Vikings have been playing a decent amount of close games, or at least games that should have been close. And so I think we're going to have another one here. Taylor Heineke is always good for a comeback, and I could see easily the Vikings leading by 10 going late, and Heineke drives them down the field and scores. So hence, I took the money line parlay. I don't feel confident enough to play the spread anyway, but I played it in Carville. I had to pick one or the other, and so I picked the Commanders, 3.5.
You're really going to thread the needle there if you get that 3-point result.
I've been known to thread a needle before.
Before we get to Spencer's picks, I'll say this about the Seahawks too. I just realized this in the last couple minutes talking about it. The Seahawks and Bucks play in Germany next week on the 13th. Yep. The Bucks are playing at home. In the NFL, has stopped giving teams bye weeks before or after they go to Europe.
They give them the option.
But they're making the Seahawks go from Arizona to Germany?
They give them the option of whether they want a bye week before or after. And if they don't take the option, I guess it's like You're just getting whatever we give you.
Yeah, but I mean, you think you at least give the
fair.
Seahawks.
Why would you not take the option?
Give the
sense.
Seahawks, an East Coast game. I just don't understand.
Fewer and fewer teams have taken that option. By the way, if you notice, a lot of teams that have played over there, Jacksonville just came back. They're playing another one, and that's a game that I like as well. It's not my best bets, but I really like the Raiders this week. Nowhere in my big bucks or my best bets, but Jags coming back from London, and interestingly enough, the Raiders have stayed in Florida all week and having their little kumbaya moment. So maybe they'll get right after the 24-0 shellacking from the Saints last week.
I like that take. But can you even get a direct flight from Phoenix to Munich? I mean, my God, that's like a 10-hour flight.
You're the king of flights. You tell me.
I once flew from LA to London. That's long enough. I think Phoenix to Munich's probably even longer. Anyway, well, that's a discussion for next week. That'll be a fun game, Seahawks-Bucks. That could be. I mean, especially if the Bucks can't win this week, that'll
Seahawks
be really
are better than the Bucks right now.
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be an interesting line. I never looked at that look-ahead line.
Yeah, you thought the Bucks would be heavily favored in that game, but I don't think they will be. Guru, your best bets this week?
Yeah, I got something that's going to rile y'all up. But the Bengals one, I know you agree with that one, Zach. I just think the Bengals are going to roll Carolina. Carolina is coming off the emotional loss to Atlanta. I just think they're going to fall flat in that one. And then Bills, man, I'm rocking the chalk. I'm going Josh Allen, the Jets, man.
There we go with the millennials.
The Jets are unraveling. The Jets stink.
Josh Allen's the best quarterback ever.
Brees Hall is done. The Jets are falling apart, man. Bills going to win by 30. That's not even going to be close. Falcons, I think, are going to.
Yeah, you could find an alt line at like minus 28.5 and probably get paid for it if you think that.
I mean, hell, you can get one for 50 probably somewhere. You ought to go bet on that too.
Hey, I might have to. And the Falcons, I like against the Chargers. Man, saw another team that's unraveling, man. The Chargers just, I don't like what I'm seeing from Justin Herbert right now. They're banged up. Mike Williams is out. Keenan Allen's probably out. Their defense is banged up. Their O-line's banged up. It's just the same old crap with the Chargers and the Falcons.
You like the Falcons that gave up, 30 points to the Panthers?
Yeah, because they can score too. I mean, Marcus Mariota, I know we've been praising Geno Smith, but Marcus Mariota is another one that's like left for dead and is having a good resurgence. So I'm going with Atlanta, and they're getting
that game stinks, boys. Back. I'm staying away all the way around. I don't know. There's too many injuries, too many factors there for me.
I hear you. And then the Vikings Commanders over. I feel like this total is set way too low, considering that neither defense is very good. I think that could end up a potential shootout. And then Tennessee, I mean, I've given my Tennessee take, going with the money line.
You know what's left for dead, Spencer? Your balance.
Ooh. What? I'm winning. Y'all question me every week, and I'm winning. So that's all I'm going to say. I just let the results talk. That's it.
Go ahead. Let them talk. It's the middle of the season.
He's gonna hammer that on you. If listen, Spencer,
I want you to find some other.
I got to get you a pair of the JB Smoove glasses, because if you hit it big this week after that comment, you got to rock the glasses on Monday.
Oh, most definitely.
I want you to find someone else in the country who is 28-12 against the spread with their best bets. Just find anyone. They can come on the show and talk smack. Find anyone, anywhere.
But show me someone who's 28-12 and has only managed to turn a 7% profit.
I'm not 28. I think I'm 26-14 in these.
And still only managed. El Rey says, "Can Snyder make payroll?" Yeah, Dan Snyder going to sell the Commanders. It looks like.
Yeah, y'all want to scrape up? We could take the Guru's bankroll and buy the Commanders.
Do you think that we'll be able to outbid Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z? Because that apparently is the top bid right now.
I mean, there's going to be enough. By the end of the season, Guru's bankroll is going to be so far up there. We'll have more money than those bums.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Before we go off the show, I got a question to ask. Did Zoe try to make those lemon cookies? Can we get her? Can we put her on and ask her?
Yeah, we can put her on. What's up, Zoe? What?
I mean, the
TikTok. You called.
Yeah, I want to know if you tried the TikTok lemon cookies that we were talking about.
I have been busy. I don't have time to bake the way I used to.
That's not a good excuse. I mean, come on, you got to be TikToking it up. You're at that young age where that's all. I mean, Spencer's obviously been watching shows about the Falcons and how good they are.
I'm doing TikTok for y'all and for the team.
Shit, listen,
Jim.
she's doing TikTok so you don't have to, so maybe you better just leave it at that.
I guess
No.
I gotta be nice. I
Yeah.
guess I gotta be nice to Zoe.
And Zoe, let him know about how you feel about Justin Fields.
Oh, we can discuss that later. But listen, I will say though, Jim is like TikTok and Instagram real gold for how he feels about LSU and Alabama this Saturday.
Nobody wants to hear what I have to say about LSU. They're gonna get destroyed.
All right.
I mean,
And
Tigers fans
it
don't hear
worked.
that.
And Andy
People liked
Dalton.
it.
Zoe, what's your best bet of the weekend? What you got?
Oh dear Lord. I'll only make Jim
There's
dance
the
if it's
cup.
happy dance. It's just like that. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
You like the Bears this week?
Northwestern
I
plus
think the Bears
30.
could
Okay.
cover. I kind of like the Bears.
Okay, let's talk about one of my alma maters. I'm not touching that one with a stick. Northwestern is going to lose in dramatic fashion to Ohio State. It has been happening all of my life, and I don't know when they will start winning.
Okay.
That's gonna be ugly.
Listen, I grew up with it. It's part of my life. If
38
somehow
points,
Northwestern,
though. They get 38 points.
They could lose 41-7 and they still
could
cover.
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, if anyone could do that, it's Coach Fitz.
Jim, we're gonna have a Christmas get together.
Oh, now see, he's trying to stir trouble
Hey,
now.
you got to bake the cookies now.
I'll tell
after
you
that
what,
for our
I'll
Christmas
make
get-together.
the pumpkin pie. How's that?
All
I've
right.
been trying to make pralines for 12 years and they come out like a soupy mess. So I
I'm
can't do it.
Listen, I would be betraying the Black community if I said I like pumpkin pie. I'm a sweet potato pie girl through and through.
All right, well,
We'll take sweet potato pie.
I'll
happy with
try
that.
it. I haven't tried it before, but I can try it.
Oh, heck
right.
yeah. But that's probably Saints over Ravens.
Saints over Ravens.
Saints over Ravens. All right. We'll talk
I
more
say
about
I
that on
agree,
Monday.
but I hope you're right.
Yeah,
But I agree with her. I think the Saints will win. We'll talk more about that on Monday edition of Bayou
I've been
Bets
the
at
downer
4
lately.
4 p.m. You have, Spencer. You've been betting against him every week. Been right most of the time. 4 p.m. on Monday, and Jim will also have his live Datitude Monday morning this week.
Tomorrow and Monday. We're doing it
Tomorrow
both
and
days.
Monday.
Yeah, so tomorrow
Bonus
we're going
edition.
we will probably talk probably spend a lot of time on LSU Bama tomorrow morning and talk a little Tulane Tulsa, talk a little Pelicans. So tomorrow's going to be a little bit of everything. We will talk Saints as well. We will certainly talk about Mike Thomas because I can't wait to get Duncan's take on that. And you're certainly going to want to hear my monologue on the RIP to Michael Thomas.
I
can't wait for that.
In for that.
Boy,
I'm
gonna
setting
have
my
to
alarm.
tune in for that. That's gonna be funny.
9:15 a.m., boys and girls.
9:15 a.m.
Yeah, I
tomorrow.
tuned in last week. Yeah, that was a good show with Dunk. I'll try to get that in there again.
I'll have some videos from LSU Bama on Saturday. Jim and I'll be at the Dome on Monday. We'll Bayou Bets at 4 o'clock. It's a great weekend, everybody. Hopefully the Astros won't win the World Series, but they probably will.
Go Philly.
Gabe Henderson will be happy, so that'll make me happy, and I'll be happy for Dusty Baker too. But it'll be a great weekend. One more reminder: LSUposter.com. If you want that deal, a 3-poster set for making one bet with Caesar Sportsbook for new users, and also go to the Bayou Bets YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff for us, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Bayou Bets.